talked about it afterwards on Saturday, kind of the weirdness of the result going from 3 points to 1 point to 2 points, but strictly like winning a penalty shootout, and especially one where you went behind. What can that kind of do, inspiration-wise, I guess, to kind of spur a team on that might not happen in just a 90-minute game?
Well, first off, you got to look at, the feeling of the supporters after the game. We've got to take and we've got to embrace all that and use that as momentum, because everybody so elated that we got the extra point. And what that means for us then is when you look at the league table, we're in control of our own destiny again. We've got one more game to go in that competition to take us to the quarterfinals. So that's how important that extra point was. And then the momentum of like just winning and coming through a shootout is huge in terms of, the players can get that confidence of going into the next game knowing that, like I said, we're in control of our own destiny. We've been on the other side of that this year when we lost one penalty kick away really from beating the best team in MLS. So when we came after that game, we also took some positives. So it's not so much a big swing. It's just more of where it takes us at the end. And at the end, I was really pleased for the supporters and for the players and the club to be, a game away from a quarter-final. So that's another big win for us.
If at the start of the Jägermeister Cup we had said destiny in your own hands with a home game to finish off at the last group game, would you have taken that?
I would have, but the problem is we're not winning too many games at home. So we need to change that, and we need to find a way of winning, because everybody talks about what style and what system and all that. We've got to play a winning style, and we've got to try and win games at home, and we've been very close on a lot of occasions at home. We've been in front, we've been behind and clawed back with the last minute goal against Hartford. So we know what it takes to compete and fight for everything that is at home. We just need to now get on a winning run, and if we can win that game and put us into the quarter-final, we have a chance of winning a trophy. So yeah, I would have taken it at the start of the season. Yes, for sure.
Now, if you do that, it'll add a couple more midweek games, I'm sure, with fixture changes. But right now, you've kind of played the last Wednesday game, at least for a while, last week in Tampa. Obviously, we think about rest and the games coming in a consistent manner. Is there anything else that when you have full weeks that we don't really think about that might give you?
It gives an opportunity to work a little bit more, probably tactically on the opponent. Put some more information into the players. When we do have midweek games, we do a lot of work with the players on video and show them, because it's difficult to get out onto the field and do the practice at full speed. Whereas when we don't have the midweek, we're able to show the video and then go out onto the field as well and do the simulation of what we think the game will look like at full speed, and that's what we're able to do when there's no midweek game. Looking at the midweek fixtures, we don't have any for a few weeks, but if we were to be successful in the Jägermeister Cup, then the quarterfinals are midweek game. Then we'll play, the next round would be on, a semi-final would be on the same day that we play a midweek game that's been rearranged, so that gets put to the end of the season. And then the finals played on a Saturday where we already have a league fixture, so that would be put to the end of the season. So if we go a long way in the Jägermeister Cup, it means the last couple of weeks of our regular season, would be so congested. So that's where we would need to try and keep everybody fit and healthy now, and also look at, if immediate short-term loans if we needed players. So there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes, hopefully to take as far as we can to the Jägermeister Cup, knowing that if we do that, then we're going to have some reinforcements in place or some plan in place to manage the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season, because it'll be so congested for us.
Injury-wise, Ben and Brem went off in that Tampa Bay game last week. Any update on either of them?
Brem's back. He just suffered a little tweak in his knee, his previous injury, so he's back. We've got to be careful that we don't, sort of damage him any further. He's got to make sure that he's fully fit, but he's back full training. Brem is a day-to-day basis, but I don't expect Ben, a famer with his hamstring injury, I don't expect him to be back for another couple of weeks.
When you look at Monterey Bay, 3-game losing skid for them right now, but they're right in the middle of the Western Conference table. When you look at them, kind of what pops out to you?
They had a great start to the season. They've recruited really well, in the off season. They've got a good squad. What I look at is an experienced team that know how to play the system that they play. They play a very strong 4-4-2 with a very direct approach. If it's on, if not, then they'll pass the ball around. through the midfield. And they've got a dangerous striker, which if you've got that in this league, then you've got a chance of winning games. So it's going to be a tough game, but we have to, you know, pick up the points at home. And if we pick up the points at home this weekend, because of the other fixtures or where they're at, you know, we'll find ourselves maybe moving a couple of places in the league. So that'll be good for us.